Hi everyone, my name is Fan Ling from SeerBeauty. At this presentation today, I wanted to show you how to build a lash brand and also some secrets that actually can last your lash brand. Life is not easy, especially as someone who's not really earning money when you put the tweezers down. But picture this: you have your own brand that people love and trust, and you can make money while you're sleeping. Well, today I'm gonna break it all down for you, from finding the right product to building your own brand. I will share exactly what you need to know to turn your lash business into something bigger. So let's get started. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you a little bit background of me. So I've been in the UK for 6 years now, almost 7 years, and this is my third year in the lash industry. I'm speaking a second language, and I'm 27. Well, I'm actually 28, and I'm from China. So the reason I'm showing you this is if I can do this, starting my own brand in the UK. So I can't say, why can't you do this? And this is where I'm from. So it's a city called Qingdao. But more importantly, in this city, there's a village called Pingdu. And on the photos where you can see all those shops on the street, guess what? They're all eyelashes suppliers. So in this town, in my city, about 80% of all the shops are all eyelashes suppliers, and this is how I started from my family owned business. And do you know about 80 to 90% of the whole world's eyelashes are come from this little village? So I grew up in this city, and then I moved to Beijing, studied in Beijing, and I was working in Beijing. And it's literally three times bigger than in London when I was 15. I moved there, and I lived there for 8 years, and I just wanted to see more of the world, to more challenges. So I decided to come to the UK to study business in master. I went to Cambridge University, studied international business management, and then I moved to Birmingham and I met my husband. This is how my life really gets started in the UK. And then we create SeerBeauty together, which is an eyelashes supplier, and we have a team in China. We got a warehouse opened last year in Redditch. We built all the shelves all by ourselves. I just wanted to show you this about how we in our manufacture. So this is where all single tray of the eyelashes are being handmade in China in our manufacture. I show you this because so many people, they just see the eyelashes being made, don't actually know exactly how it's being made, and also about the raw materials, the colors, how to use the colors. So this bit now is cleaning it to make the colors stay. Then you do the contour tab, make sure all the lashes are cut finely. There are some lashes that are made by machines like this, and there are also some lashes that are. So as we can say that how many of you actually started your own lash brand, and then you saw other people start their own product line, and you'll be like, oh, this is something that very interesting. You wanted to do that as well. But have you thought about the why you want to build your own lash brand? Can we just ask yourself, and if you got a pen, write down the why. Why do you want to build your own brand? Is it because you want more freedom, more recognitions, or maybe because you're dreaming of creating something that is truly yours? So here's why it really matters is building your own brand means you control your identify, you decide the quality, and you create opportunities that last longer than just the hours behind the tweezers. So if you know your why, you really decided to start this, then it's about finding the supplier. So I'm sure you're all familiar with all those DMs on your Instagram, or have you heard about Alibaba or AliExpress? You probably, well, even those are the messages from me. So they not really sing me from China. They just message me, which is I'm just like, have you not seen I'm a manufacturer as well? So you can either pick up some DMs from your Instagram or you can try AliExpress. But just be careful on how you really picking your supplier, because they are your business partner. They shouldn't just be selling your products. They also need to be thinking about how they can make your products better. How can they support your business rather than just selling your products? So because I'm based in the UK, I always provide I always say to people, I don't really want to just provide you just the lashes. I really want to help you to be success, because that's the only way that I can be making more money as well, because business is about win-win. If your suppliers don't really care about your success or don't really want to make more money with you, then that is a red flag. So finding the right suppliers, it's just like looking a needle in a hashtag. So I don't really want to say much about myself, but I do have a good reputation in the UK, and I think what I can offer is I provide face-to-face meetings. So I really sit down with my clients, understand what they're looking for, what their needs, and what their brand style, their brand identify, and then I can recommend the exactly solutions, whether if it's just lashes, whether it's just like glues, or it just started from the samples to start it. So when you're picking your suppliers, just make sure they really care about you, not just like a one-time offer, because with the time that you invested with your suppliers, you don't really want to change another supplier if you have to make another order, or you have to really conscious about your supplier is not really doing the best job for you. So just make sure that when you find the suppliers, you know that they are the one for you. And if you're not really sure, always welcome to come to speak to me. I don't really mind, even though if you don't come to you even though if you don't choose us in the end, honestly, I don't mind of offering some advice or anything I can help with, because I know it will be very difficult to start with, but beginning is always the hardest. Once you make the beginning, it's all starting getting better. So I put some questions here to ask your suppliers. For example, what lash materials do they offer? Do they actually offer different materials, or do they have only just have one materials? And also, what is their quality standards? Do they have a quality check process, or they just swing it? What payment terms do they offer? So we accept bank transfer and PayPal. Usually for the bigger amount payment, we would recommend using the bank transfer, because PayPal charge 5% of the service fee, which means if you're really paying thousands pounds, you need to also pay a really big amount of the service fee. Where with the bank transfer, you don't really pay the service fee. But if you're doing the bank transfer, need to make sure that they are a UK bank account, because if you're dealing with a legit or like a really good supplier, they should have a bank account in the UK. And also, most importantly, what happens if your book holder had some problems? Do they offer any after sale customers? Would they replace it for you? Would they actually solve the problem for you, or they just saying bye? It's not my problem. So because problem happens, right? Like even with us, we have problems happens all the time, but how different how the way to different suppliers is see how they actually solve the problem for you, because I think solving the problems is one of the most important parts of being a supplier, because problems is always going to happen, but it's how you treat your customers. And if they're not really responsive support, they haven't really followed up after you try the samples, or if you ask them about any products details, they don't really know much about it, or if they don't even ask you what do you like, those are all the red flags that you can avoid. So if you found your supplier, congratulations. Then the next step will be sampling the products. So you probably have all those ideas that you want to try about lashes, tweezers, shampoos, glues, blah, blah, blah. But to start with, I would recommend you to lower down your SKUs, which means lower down your products range, to start from small, and you can always add up more products line, more SKUs in the future. For example, with the lashes, you probably heard all about this PBT, silk, MAC, velvet, cashmere, blah, 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 all different. So what are the differences? Well, all of them, they all come from PBT, which is this black thing over here. And then it will be produced through different process to the lashes you are seeing now. If you want to see more of this, how this raw material is being produced, you can scan this QR code, or going on my Instagram, you will see the top video, it will be about this. But generally speaking, they are all lashes. I don't know why I said they're all lashes. It's just about different look, about if they are more matte, if they're more softer, if they're more they're more shiny. So if you know, if you like a matte finish lashes, you just need to tell your supplier that you want a really matte finish. Or if you like a really shiny one, tell your supplier that you want a shiny one rather than a matte one. And they should be having all different materials for you to choose. So I always send out about 2 to 3 different materials to our clients to choose, so they can have a compare and see which one they like the most. Right, so if you know your products, if you know which one you're going for, then it's moving to the designing part. So in our company, we have an in-house designer, which means any design from our clients, we can do it in our own company, which means more control and also free for our clients. So always ask your supplier if they have a designer to help you, so you can save all the designing fee that you have to pay in the UK, which is about thousands pounds. And also is finding your niche on the designing, because you probably will see all those pink brands, all those black, beige, all of these colors, but this is your brand. So you need to think about what is your brand image? What do you actually want to deliver the message to your customers about your brand? Is it like a classic vibe? Is it like a edgy vibe? Is it like just black and white? Either way, finding your niche, because this is your brand and this is your present, like this is your image. So as I mentioned, always ask if your manufacturer can help. And if they are talking about those label cards and this is what it looks like, basically it's the lash cards that they're going to put in the trays, and you can put your logo, your website. You can either have 12 rows, 16 rows, whatever rows you want. You can put some lens on the right, or you can not put in lens, just make it like a universe, which for some of the clients it is like a low cost for the single lens. And you can put curves, whatever you want. This is a bespoke lash card. So if you have any ideas, don't be hesitant to tell your company, to tell your suppliers, and make sure you're happy with the design as well. So if you know your lash cards, then we're talking about the lash trays. So for people who has a lower budget, I would always recommend you to start with the plastic. But if you have a lot of the budget, you don't, and you really want it to be perfect, then go with the paper ones. With the paper ones, you can totally bespoke everything for you. Either if it's the paper, either if it's the colors, or you can choose all those different shape from the Lash paper boxes as well. So we had the Christmas one during the Christmas time, and you probably see a lot of the brands having those hearts, those squares, and you can have cherries, butterflies. So all those are come from our manufacturer. But if you want to do a screenshot, ask your manufacturer, ask your suppliers if they can do it. And this is the plastic trays. So with the plastic tray, there are different colors, and obviously you want to go with your brand image, your brand style, either if it's like black, yellow, gold, and always ask your manufacturer if they have those colors for you to choose. And the same as the glues and all the shampoo, all of the shampoos as well. So on the left hand side is all the glues lid and the glues cap. You can have either 5 milliliter or 10 milliliter, and you can choose different bottle cap, different bottles as well. And the same as the shampoo. And in this part on the right hand side up is the tweezers cleanser. So for example, if your brand color is black, then maybe the black sponge with a black cap, it will be perfect for you. And again, same with all those are just some examples of our products, but you can have different colors, lid, stickers, paper box, everything you want. Just make sure you ask your manufacturer if they have whatever you want. So for some of the supplier, they would only have certain packagings, bottles, because they're only dealing with certain customers. But there's always no harm to ask them if they can provide whatever you want. So if you have your design, then make sure you have this face on your right, and to make sure you're 100% happy with the design you got. And also please confirm the final design with your supplier, because remember, their first language is not English. So they might have some misspelling mistake and they don't really notice. So it's down to your responsibility to make sure that all the designs are perfect. Don't just rely on your suppliers. Well, if you're dealing with me, then that's fine, because my English is good enough to spot any misspelling mistake. So always confirm with your supplier, and then we move into the payment day, which is a bit nervous, and this is when a lot of people get hesitant. Well, if you remember what I mentioned earlier about all this bank transfer, about all those PayPal, then you need to know that if somebody just offer you to do the bank transfer without telling you why they want to do it, then that is a red flag. Because with the PayPal, at least you have a third party security to protect you. But if you don't really know the supplier and you just bank transfer them, they're gone. You can't really do much about it. So make sure that you know them before you choose either PayPal or bank transferred. And also always ask for the invoice, even just for your own record to start with. And if you're a VAT registered company, you could also ask them if they have a VAT number. So we are a UK VAT registered company, which means if our clients want a VAT number, we can provide them, help them to do all the tax stuff. So if you need that, always ask them for that as well. So for the first order, I would also recommend to don't just go all in. If the minimum order is 100 trays, then start with 100 trays. There's no harm of starting small, and you can always test the water. And also think about if you want to sell single lens or mixed lens. If this is your first order, maybe start with mixed lens, because a lot of the lash artists, well, you know this better than me, because when you're trying a new brand, you're not just going to buy all the single lens, aren't you? So you're probably going to buy all the mixed lens. So same to you, when you're making the lashes, maybe start with a mixed lens so it's easier for people to try it. And also maybe it's just stick with one style, like you only do black 0.05 in say your decor, or do 0.03, or just do volume to start with. Don't really do like you do 10 of the volume, 10 of the easy finds, 10 of the like flat lashes, because people only use certain lashes and you want them to stick with you. And again, you can always learn by time. So production bit, usually the packing, when the lash order started, your lash carts or your paper boxes will be sent to the packaging manufacturer to produce them, which takes about 1 to 2 weeks. And then they will send all those packagings to the lash manufacturer for them to apply the lashes on the lash carts, which usually take 2 to 3 weeks. And then you can choose whether if you want 1 week delivery or 2 weeks delivery, which in total will be 4 to 6 weeks. So if you have a certain date to launch your brand or your products line, always ask your supplier what is the whole turnover time. And are they really updating you any states of your order, or are they just taking the money and then just disappear for like a month? A good supplier, they should be updating your order weekly. So our process are usually twice a week. This is like the basic ones, but for some of the orders we do updates more often just so clients know. So always make sure they have updates for you. And if they don't really update you, then that is a red flag. And when you receive the products, make sure that they have a pre-ship list or any paperwork for you to check all the stocks. And always make sure that you're happy with your products, and always make sure that if there's any damage, if there is any damage, please take photos and send it to the supplier and tell them those are damaged. And also make sure that, ask yourself, are you happy with everything? This is the most common question I asked to my clients. Are you happy with your packaging? Are you happy with the quality? Are you happy with the design? Because this is your products. In the end of the day, you need to be happy with what you're selling. So a good supplier, they should be asking what you feel about your problems, or what you feel about your products. And also, if you're not happy with your products, they need to be solving the problem with you. How they are actually solving the problem with you? Are they actually trying to help you to fix the problems, or are they just trying to avoid it, or are they not really good at communication, stuff like that? We always trying to solve the problems, even though means sometimes we need to lose the money, but we value all our clients as a long-term business partner. So obviously you don't really want any issues to happen, but there always going to be some issues. So you need to really say how your suppliers solve your problems. So if you're all ready to go, then it's about marketing your brand. I always say this is a really important bit, and I always ask my clients if they have got a marketing plan, which a lot of people don't actually have a marketing plan. So I really suggest you to have a marketing plan before you launch your brand, because you need to understand that all of those lash brands, a lot of them are come from one manufacturer. So how you selling £10 and how they selling £15, it all depends on the marketing. It's just a similar thing as the lashes from Lash Base and the lashes from a random small lashes. They might all come from one manufacturer, but because of the marketings, one can sell for 15, one can sell for £10. So have a marketing plan, and if you don't really know much about it, reach out to me. I have some marketing guidelines, or I have people who can recommend you to do this, or just ask ChatGPT, because I use ChatGPT all the time, and they can be really helpful when you have your own business. So here we are, we're launching the products. If you got a plan, you have all the list of what you to do, then that is amazing. You don't have to have all those you don't have to have all those headaches about stocks, because you had a plan. So always make sure that you got some plans for your business, either if it's the products line, either if it's the marketings, anything, have some thinking before you actually launch it. And also just proud of yourself, because it has been a really, really hard process and it's not an easy one as well. So please be proud of yourself. You have done amazing job. And I think it's worth a claps as well. So well done, guys. And again, the last one is your own customer service. I would always suggest people to collect all of the feedback you have. So those can be your contents, those can be your feedback to show people, especially as a new brand. Make sure you always ask for feedback and how you can improve, how you can launch more products in the future, and all those can be very helpful. And if you can, start building some Google Maps reviews, some Trustpilot reviews. All those could be really, really helpful building a brand. Right. So I actually put Opal Beauty again. Sorry. So scan this QR code to follow me, and you get 10% off for your first private label order. And just message me TBP and you can get a 10% order. So I want to finish this with a quote. Products are made in a factory, but brands are created in the mind. Thank you, guys, and please reach out to me if you have any questions. And I'm based in Birmingham, and our warehouse is in Reddit, so I'm more than welcome to have some face-to-face meetings. And I wish everyone can be successful. Thank you. Bye bye.